Hey everybody, what's going on? It's your boy Evan, here to talk a little bit about the COD Black Ops 4 Blackout mode. I had a chance to play it whenever they had the open beta this last weekend. I enjoyed it. I have some thoughts on it, and I'm also here to comment a little bit about what I've heard since the beta from a lot of YouTubers, a lot of media outlets that I like to consume. On in terms of how successful they expect Blackout to be, and I'll just say I did really enjoy Blackout. The gunplay isn't exactly what I would what I would enjoy over something like PUBG. I greatly prefer PUBG's gunplay, but it works. It works like COD. And I really think that that's enough for people. I really think that could be enough to make Blackout a huge success. So a little bit of background on Blackout. Blackout, it takes place on the largest COD map that's ever been made. It can fit up to 80 people, I think, maybe 90. I know it doesn't reach 100. But it's a bunch of old COD maps pasted together into one large map that has some wooded areas in between to kind of pad it out a little bit. And you drop in from helicopters, just like you drop it in from a plane in PUBG, or from the battle bus in Fortnite. And you land, you gather your resources, you gather your guns, you gather everything that you can, and then you fight and you try to survive to the end. The thing that separates COD from the others is that this has different equipment and different perks. So they've implemented perks into Blackout like they have in traditional multiplayer, but they're pickups. So you pick up your perks, and then they're a one-time use thing. You use them. They're kind of like a buff for yourself that lasts for a certain amount of time, and once that time has passed, then they're gone, and you need to find new perks. And equipment is kind of similar. You can pick up grenades and stuff like that, and you can also pick up like a grappling hook, and like the little monkey with the bells that is a bomb or whatever, and the like the slingshot proximity mine and shit like that. You can pick those things up and use them as equipment on top of your guns and everything like that. So the guns aren't, real guns. They're made up COD guns that you would have, from the regular multiplayer translated over. But you do have to pick up attachments, scopes, extended mags, stuff like that, just like a normal battle royale. And the one thing that I'll say is that I don't particularly find any of the attachments outside of scopes useful. I don't notice a difference when they're attached. I've shot guns with and without, and they all seem to function relatively the same outside of what scopes add. So I feel like they should just remove them almost. Like the rest of the attachments just don't really seem to matter. I would make people look for scopes, equipment, and perks, and outside of that, it's just guns. It works well. I was getting 60 FPS on high settings, ultra settings the entire time. I didn't really notice any lag. I had one match where I was experiencing some lag. And I'll just switch over to some video footage for you so you can check out some of the footage that I captured. So yeah, performance was good. Graphics were all right. I kind of don't prefer how this game looks in terms of comparing it to PUBG. I think PUBG looks better. The textures and the geometry is like super simple in Blackout, which I understand. They have to get it running for so many people on such a big map, but I wasn't super impressed with how it looks. To me, some like distant objects feel very fuzzy in this compared to PUBG. It feels like a little bit harder to spot people. And I'm not a huge fan of the inventory system at all. I think that it's just like unnecessarily cumbersome. Like you need to hold down certain things to do certain actions and stuff like that. And I just like the slide. The slide inventory from PUBG is the inventory that Battle Royale should just use. It just works better than all the other ones, in my opinion. Having played this in Fortnite, I think that PUBG definitely comes out on top in terms of inventory management. Um, but what people have been looking for is an alternative to PUBG that is like PUBG that works. And from what I've gathered, people are pretty excited about this. We got some video of the doc losing his mind about how much he loves the damn game, and I won't ignore the influence of streamers in today's market, and how they influence. They're called influencers. I won't ignore how they can affect a game's sales, a game's hype. And the doc seems pretty stoked on it. I've seen Shroud play it. He really enjoys it as well. And so we're getting some positive reaction from these YouTube influencers, and a pretty decent reaction from media outlets in general. And I have to say, people seem excited. People seem excited about this game, and it just, again, it just works. Like there was such a low bar. There was such a low bar that this game needed to meet. It needed to play like PUBG and work, and it does both of those things. Like I said, the gunplay is not necessarily my cup of tea. I prefer PUBG, but people just want something that they can install. They know it'll work, and they're not going to get horrible lag spikes, and they're not going to feel like the network is screwing them over when they're playing a game. They get killed, and they don't know if it was because of some crap with the network, or if it was just like a legitimate kill. Um, and I feel like this game reaches that bar. It definitely reaches the bar. Um, whether it ends up killing PUBG or Fortnite is a different story. I don't I don't know what's gonna happen. But I can give a couple guesses. Okay, so Call of Duty World War II and Destiny were 2017's best sellers, over 1 billion in global sales. So obviously people still want to buy COD. Obviously people still are buying COD. So there's no question that this game is going to sell a ton, because every COD sells a ton. The question is how much of the audiences of these other games are going to move to Blackout. For Fortnite, we'll start with Fortnite because I think it has the best outlook in terms of how it's going to compete with Blackout. I think that Fortnite shouldn't be worried. Fortnite is a free-to-play game. It runs really well, and it does unique things that these other two games don't do. With the building, and with all the funny, wacky weapons and equipment, I think it's unique and it's its own thing. And I really don't see a whole ton of people, a significant amount of people moving over from Fortnite to play Blackout. Now, I won't deny that there are a bunch of people that moved to Fortnite specifically because PUBG didn't work very well. And maybe they move back. Maybe their flavor is more realistic, more tactical, something like PUBG and COD. And now that there's something on the market that works reasonably well, then maybe they'll move back over from Fortnite. Maybe Fortnite was just a placeholder for them so that they can continue to play Battle Royale after they got sick of PUBG's constant network and lag issues and all that shit. As far as PUBG, I don't know. Fortnite is a free-to-play game. Fortnite's free-to-play. People are going to continue to play Fortnite because it's available on so many platforms. You can play it on mobile, you can play it on Switch, you can play it on all the consoles, you can play it on PC. And I feel like Fortnite doesn't really have to worry. I do worry for PUBG. And specifically because it's been a year now that PUBG's been out. It's gotten, you know, content updates and new maps and stuff, and all that is great. But when you come down to it, it still doesn't consistently work. It still doesn't work as consistently as Fortnite, and it's not going to work as consistently as Blackout has, you know? Even just playing the beta, I feel like once it launches, Blackout is going to be stable, more stable than PUBG. The real question is, you know, if you've already spent 30 bucks on PUBG, are you then going to go spend 60 bucks on Blackout? I don't know. As somebody that likes playing PUBG and somebody that did enjoy Blackout, I don't see myself going out and spending I don't see myself going out and spending 60 bucks on Blackout. I just really don't. And I wonder how many people are really going to want to do that. You know, they've got a free Battle Royale and they've got a $30 Battle Royale, and they've played them both. This plays relatively the same as PUBG. It just works a little bit better, but are you going to want to spend 60 bucks? You know, how many people are going to go and spend 60 bucks just for Blackout? Because if you know, there is a portion of the audience that plays COD every year that Blackout is just a tacked on mode that they will enjoy on top of the fact that they already buy COD every year and play the multiplayer every year anyways. So this is just a thing that's thrown in there for them to try out. Maybe they've never even played Battle Royale before and they're going to try this out and they'll enjoy it. But there's no single player in Black Ops, and I don't really like the normal multiplayer in COD. So I would only be interested in Blackout, and I'm just not sure if I would ever spend 60 bucks to buy this game. Especially knowing that it's by Activision Blizzard and they will probably do some shady, you know, business tactics where they're trying to get everybody to buy, you know, as much stuff. They'll try to shove as many microtransactions into this thing as they possibly can. So that's the thing that you have to contend with, you know. And there was a certain portion of the audience out there that whenever Battle Royale came out, whenever PUBG came out, it was a refreshingly different thing from COD. And I feel like a lot of people moved onto it in spite of COD, you know, out of spite. Like, you know, this is the game that I want. This is what I've been waiting for. This is what I want to play. So I just, it's hard. It's a hard call, really, to say how many people are going to move back to COD after playing PUBG, just because it works, because it still plays like COD. It does. It's just on a bigger map, but the gunplay is the same. But yeah, if I was Bluehole and if I was PUBG, I'd be worried. I'd be real worried, because I just don't see. I don't see a world where they don't start losing more players from this. Like the amount of players that they'll lose, that Fortnite will lose, will be minuscule in comparison to PUBG. So I don't know. We'll have to find out. I really hope that PUBG can continue to flourish and do well in spite of Blackout, but I would be really concerned if I was Bluehole about what Blackout's going to do to their overall player numbers. So those are just my thoughts, guys. I'm glad you stopped by and checked me out. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe, and leave some comments below. I'll try to get back to you as quickly as I can. This has been Evan. I appreciate you stopping by. Take it easy.